Hey everybody, it's David in France. Here we are again at the Hattery Farm, and we're going to be checking out today a setup for butchering chickens on a small scale. You know, one of the main things when you're doing stuff on a small scale is equipment, how much equipment you need to do things, and so you kind of have to improvise and figure out solutions without buying all the equipment you need for everything that you need to do. So we're going to take a look at that now, but don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I make videos about nature and food and just the adventures of everyday life in France and in America. So we just got done butchering some chickens, and my dad's going to show us the setup that he has for doing it on a small scale.
So it starts with killing the chickens, which a really humane and good way to kill them is in a kill cone. And I found this just traffic cone. You can buy a commercial kill cone. One of the things you want to do, obviously, is keep costs down when you're really small scale, because you're not making any money at it, so you want to keep costs to a minimum. So just took a step ladder and made a couple of braces here and put the traffic cone, cut the end of it off to make it fit, and what you do is then just cut the jugular of the chicken, and it's just a really humane, it's the way even folks do it in old markets, where they just take a single chicken and hold it over a coffee can or something and slit its throat and let it bleed out. So once it's bled out, though, one of the toughest things if you don't have equipment is plucking a chicken. So the first thing you do is scald chicken in hot water, and here we have a pot that we put water in and a propane heater that's just made for this type of thing. This is my neighbor's setup for this, and very often he and I will do it together. So I use his scalding equipment and he uses my plucking equipment. As I just said, plucking is kind of the worst part of the process, and so I sprung for the money for one of the smaller scale commercial pluckers, which has all these little rubber fingers in there. The bottom spins around, and it takes less than a minute to fully pluck a chicken that's been scalded. All the feathers come out underneath. What I did was I took an old cement hand mixing pan that I didn't need anymore, and I drilled a bunch of holes in it so that the water, and you spray water as it's plucking, so the water and feathers come out here, the water drains out, and the feathers stay in that pan so I can dispose of the feathers. And then once it's plucked, I bring it over here to this table and I butcher the chicken. I gut it, take the head, feet off, and so on. And then some of the chickens I will put in the freezer whole, some of them I'll cut in half. What I do after I either cut them in half or have them whole is I will put them in these specially made plastic bags and have a vacuum sealer here. That's one of the only other sort of expensive components that I bought, because it just makes such a much better job of long-term storage in a freezer than having a vacuum sealed bag. And that's it.
Well, I saw you hanging them up over here.
Oh, well, I'm not an expert cook, but I have heard one of the expert chefs say the enemy of good cooking is moisture, and I've found that true. And so what I try to do certain times of the year is hang the chickens up for a day and let them dry out before I vacuum seal them. Or if I have enough refrigerator space available, I'll put them just on the rack with nothing on them to let them dry. Today it was summertime and I didn't have room in the refrigerator, so I pretty much just hung them up for an hour while I was processing other chickens, just to let them drip dry, but didn't have them as dry as I would have liked. But I just hang them from their legs up here after they're totally butchered, let them drip dry or dry for a day if the weather permits, and then take them over and do the vacuum sealing.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Step one is to seal one end so that I can put the chicken in here and seal the other end and be done. first step was just a seal, and this one is a vacuum and seal. All done. One vacuum packed chicken.
Ready for the freezer.
Ready for the freezer.